very interesting op-ed was released by the Denver Post, of course, in the state that Lauren Boebert represents, calling her out for the anti-LGBTQ rhetoric she spreads in the wake of a shooting that happened in Colorado. So that's where the specific connection comes to Lauren Boebert and to the Denver Post. And then we'll look at, and you have to watch this. After we look at this Denver Post piece, we're going to look at Lauren Boebert making herself out to be the victim in the wake of all of this because, oh no, people, she doesn't use this language, but correctly called me out for being super hateful. And that hate, maybe not specifically mine, but the hate that I also perpetuate leading to something absolutely horrible. So we're going to watch that, and that clip is just so aggravating. But first, we're looking at you. This is the title. We're looking at you, Lauren Boebert, Stop the Intolerance, again, from the Denver Post. And then it kind of lays the groundwork, talks a little bit about the context, and then zeroes in on Lauren Boebert. Let's take Representative Lauren Boebert, who tweeted this out on Sunday in the wake of the Club Q shooting. Quote, "The news out of Colorado Springs is absolutely awful. This morning, the victims and their families are in my prayers. This lawless violence needs to end, and end quickly. This is the same person who has previously offered up these gems." So then the Denver Post is saying, okay, you say thoughts and prayers when this happens, but you're the same person who sends this out. "Take your children to church, not to drag bars." And we went from reading Rainbow to Randy Rainbow in a few decades, but don't dare say the left is grooming our kids. And then the Denver Post continues, "Boebert was rightly excoriated for her role in elevating hateful speech against the LGBTQ community. As an added bonus, her hardline positions on gun control, ruling out even common sense measures, mean she would not have supported any efforts that might have kept guns out of this shooter's possession." And then it highlights other individuals as well. So with that all being looked at and said, let's watch her feeling like, oh, boo-hoo-hoo for me. I can't believe I'm getting called out for something I should be getting called out for.
You cannot just continue to blame society for evil people. At some point, you have to blame the criminal instead of just doing whatever you can to get the blame off of them and release them back into society quicker. Dan, I have been accused of just about every mass shooting there has been since the left has learned of my name, whether it's Uvalde or the King Super shooting in Boulder, Colorado, or the Buffalo, New York shooting, or even Paul Pelosi getting hammered. I have been blamed for all of them. And so all of this, it has to come to an end, this blame game. I think the left is pissed that I won my election.
Of course they are.
And so they're trying to find something to go after me about. I expressed my concern for the family, for the victims, and the way that they came after me is absolutely disgusting. We're all sick of this.
The way you go after LGBTQ people as a part-time job that you are so committed to is what's disgusting. Not that your feelings were hurt because people rightly called out your hateful rhetoric. And this, to me, reveals kind of a general trend I see among some people on the right, of a misunderstanding of kind of looking at things societally and looking at things interpersonally or on the individual level. Or you could also word it as systemically versus individually. And so this changes depending on the conversation, but in some situations, right, they have a really hard time understanding that we can talk about the ways to ameliorate poverty, to address poverty, while also individually, if you yourself are in poverty, getting advice on how to work your way out of it. Both of those things can happen, right? You can say, we need to act societally so that we don't have people in poverty. And if you are in poverty, here's what you should do. Of course, everyone should try to work hard. And the misunderstanding is that from people on the right, oftentimes that being in poverty means you're not working hard. We know that's not true. But the point is, individual advice and societal prescriptions are two different things. So for you, if I'm just talking to a friend, it's like, don't wait for anyone else to help you. Go out and get it, work hard. But on a societal basis, we need to invest in communities. We need to try to pull people out of poverty. Clearly, these problems are things that need to be addressed. But oftentimes, when I or someone else on the left or whoever says something like, we need to invest as a society into impoverished communities to uplift them, it's like, oh, you're saying that they're not responsible for themselves, and you're saying that they should just be lazy or something. And it's like, what? No, we have a societal obligation to try to address problems like poverty. And then also separately on an individual level, you can give advice about working hard and stuff like that, of course. So then in this situation, she's saying, we need to stop blaming society for madmen or for lunatics or for bad individuals. No. We can, on an individual basis, blame the lunatic because the shooter is responsible for that event, of course. The responsibility falls on their shoulders, 100%. That's very easy to understand. And also say, what societally can we address so that these types of things don't happen? Because we understand people are very much influenced by the society that they're in. And so both of those things can be true. You're not saying the shooter isn't responsible for it because right-wing hate led to it. No, you're saying the shooter's responsible for it and was motivated by a disease we have in this country of hatred towards LGBTQ people. Clearly, Lauren Boebert's not learning her lesson on this. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before any of the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get access to an extra full show every Saturday that only members can see, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley, and there is a link in the description.